Hello there. Welcome to Thrive with Megan and Harry. And welcome to our Black History Month special. Today we are talking about Mae Jemison. Mae Jemison is the first African American female astronaut, and in 1992 she flew into space aboard the Endeavour, becoming the first African American woman in space. Mae Jemison is an American astronaut and physician who, on June the 4th, 1987, became the first African American woman to be admitted into NASA's astronaut training program. On September 12, 1992, Jemison finally flew into space with six other astronauts aboard the Endeavour on mission STS 47, becoming the first African American woman in space. In recognition of her accomplishments, Jemison has received several awards and honorary doctorates. Jemison was born on October 17, 1956, in Decatur, Alabama. She is the youngest child of Charlie Jemison, a roofer and carpenter, and Dorothy Green Jemison, an elementary school teacher. Her sister, Ada Jemison Bullock, became a child psychiatrist, and her brother, Charles Jemison, is a real estate broker. The Jemison family moved to Chicago, Illinois when Jemison was 3 years old to take advantage of better educational opportunities, and it is that city that she calls her hometown. Throughout her early school years, Jemison's parents were supportive and encouraging of her talents and abilities, and she spent a considerable amount of time in her school library reading about all aspects of science, especially astronomy. During her time at Morgan Park High School, she became convinced she wanted to pursue a career in biochemical engineering. When she became convinced that she wanted to pursue a career in biochemical engineering when she graduated in 1973 as a consistent honor student. She entered Stanford University on a National Achievement Scholarship. As she had been in high school, Jemison was very involved in extracurricular activities at Stanford, including dance and theater productions, and served as head of the Black Student Union. She received a Bachelor of Science degree in chemical engineering from the university in 1977. Upon graduation, she entered Cornell University Medical College and, during her years there, found time to expand her horizons by studying in Cuba and Kenya and working at a Cambodian refugee camp in Thailand. After Jemison obtained her MD in 1981, she interned at Los Angeles County University of Southern California Medical Center and later worked as a general practitioner. For the next 2.5 years, she was the area Peace Corps medical officer for Sierra Leone and Liberia, where she also taught and did medical research. We continue with Katherine Johnson. Being handpicked to be one of 3 Black students to integrate West Virginia's graduate schools is something that many people would consider one of their life's most notable moments. But it's just one of several breakthroughs that have marked Katherine Johnson's long and remarkable life. Born in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, in 1918, her intense curiosity and brilliance with numbers vaulted her ahead several grades in school. By 13, she was attending the high school on the campus of historically Black West Virginia State College. At 18, she enrolled in the college itself, where she made quick work of the school's math curriculum and found a mentor in math, Professor W. W. Schiffelin Claytor, the third African American to earn a PhD in mathematics. She graduated with highest honors in 1937 and took a job teaching at a black public school in Virginia. When West Virginia decided to quietly integrate its graduate schools in 1939, West Virginia State President Dr. John W. Davis selected her and two men to be the first black students offered spots at the state's flagship school, West Virginia University. She left her teaching job and enrolled in the graduate math program. At the end of the first session, however, she decided to leave the school and start a family with her first husband, James Goebel. She returned to teaching when her three daughters got older, but it wasn't until 1952 that a relative told her about open positions at the all-black West Area Computing Section at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA, Langley's laboratory, headed by fellow West Virginian Dorothy Vaughan. Katherine and her husband decided to move the family to Newport News, Virginia, to pursue the opportunity, and Katherine began work at Langley in the summer of 1953. Just 2 weeks into her tenure in the office, Dorothy Vaughan assigned her to a project to the maneuver loads branch of the Flight Research Division, and Katherine's temporary position soon became permanent. She spent the next 4 years analyzing data from flight tests and worked on the investigation of a plane crash caused by wake turbulence. As she was wrapping up this work, her husband died of cancer in December 1956. The 1957 launch of the Soviet satellite Sputnik changed history and Johnson's life. In 1957, she provided some of the math for the 1958 document Notes on Space Technology, a compendium of a series of 1958 lectures given by engineers in the Flight Research Division and the Pilotless Aircraft Research Division, PARD or PARD. Engineers from those groups formed the core of the Space Task Group, the NACA's first official foray into space travel. Johnson, who had worked with many of them since coming to Langley, came along with the program as the NACA became NASA later that year. She did trajectory analysis for Alan Shepard's May 1961 Mission Freedom 7, America's first human spaceflight. In 1960, she and engineer Ted Skopinski co-authorized determination of azimuth, angle, and burnout for placing a satellite over a selected Earth position. A report laying out the equations describing an orbital spaceflight in which the landing position of the spacecraft is specified. It was the first time a woman in the Flight Research Division had received credit as an author or a research report. In 1962, as NASA prepared for the orbital mission of John Glenn, Johnson was called upon to do the work that she would become known for. The complexity of the orbital flight had required the construction of a worldwide communications network, linking tracking stations around the world to IBM computers in Washington, Cape Canaveral in Florida, and Bermuda. The computers had been programmed with the orbital equations that would control the trajectory of the capsule in John Glenn's Friendship 7 mission from liftoff to splashdown. But the astronauts were wary of putting their lives in the care of the electronic calculating machines, which were prone to hiccups and blackouts. As a part of the pre-flight checklist, Glenn asked engineers to get the girl, Johnson, to run the same numbers through the same equations that had been programmed into the computer, but by hand on her desktop mechanical calculating machine. If she says they're good, Katherine Johnson remembers the astronaut saying, then I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Glenn's flight was a success and marked a turning point in the competition between the United States and the Soviet Union in space. When asked to name her greatest contribution to space exploration, Johnson would talk about the calculations that helped sink Project Apollo's lunar module and the Lunar Orbiting Command and Service module. She also worked on the Space Shuttle and the Earth Resources Technology Satellite, and authorized a co-authored 26 research reports. She retired in 1986 after 33 years at Langley. I love going to work every single day, she said. In 2015, at age 97, Johnson added another extraordinary achievement to her long list. President Barack Obama awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, America's highest civilian honor. She died on February 24th, 2020. NASA Administrator James Bridenstine said, our NASA family is sad to learn the news that Katherine Johnson passed away this morning at 101 years old. She was an American hero and her pioneering legacy will never be forgotten. What an amazing legacy. And of course, if you remember, there was a movie called Hidden Figures, and this movie was about Katherine Goebel, and also it was about three incredible American women heroes, who, they did an amazing job, at NASA for many years, and they were just amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this. And if you want to make a donation to the channel, we have PayPal available, there's channel memberships, and there's also super chats available. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, Megan said, it's not enough to just survive something. That's not the point of life. You've got to thrive. You've got to feel happy. Unquote. Thank you so much. Bye.